Welcome back, everyone. It is Wednesday, July 30th, and the MLB, our four favorite picks, are on the way. Let's recap yesterday. 0-3. Apparently, yesterday, when I was laughing at how bad the season has been, people took that personally. Fine. Well, you want us dead inside? Fine, you got it. 0-3 yesterday. White Sox was a bad read. Sure. I really feel like the other two could have hit, but again, whatever. Not much we can do. Braves, what did they go? Into the bottom of the sixth, 2 outs, no one on, 0 runs. And Seth Lugo forgets how to pitch. The good bullpen arms come in, nothing. Speaking of good bullpen arms, that's basically what we got in Mariners Athletics. 7 runs in the first 5 yesterday. Nothing rest of the game. Sure, but let's move on. This sport has sucked the soul out of Logan and I, as you guys can tell. We're feeling good going into the All-Star break. In the last 2 days, really since then, it's just been kicking us in the you-know-where. But you know what? Let's bounce back today. Let's end July strong today and tomorrow. And then we'll go into August and maybe we'll up the unit size if we can get hot. All it takes is a hot streak at 2-unit plays. And boom, we're right back in the positive. Let's try to get there. Today, I'll bring out my favorite play of the day, and we're up in the unit size there. We're going Mackenzie Gore under 2.5 earned runs, minus 145 on DraftKings, a 1.5 unit play. Yeah, when I find my favorite prop of the day, we're going to start up in the units because historically the under and earned runs have been pretty good to us. And you know what? We got to win back some of the units somehow. We can't be afraid to put a little 1.5 units. It's not like we're going 10 units out there, although I love all my picks today. Maybe you make them a 10-unit play. But let's talk about Mackenzie Gore. I think is in for a great matchup today against the Astros. Now, some people out there yesterday wanted to back and fade the Astros, and their bats showed up for the first time in a hot minute. I think we're going to go right back to fading. This is a team that's dealing with a ton of injuries out there, and I just don't think their lineup's all that great. I mean, like I said, the guys that are injured for them, I could list them. Yordan Alvarez been out for a hot minute. Jeremy Pena is the closest to returning, but he just started taking ABs. I don't know if he returns today. If he does, this will be his first game back in a hot minute. So congrats if he's out there. Jake Myers, who's been hitting the ball well, out. Isaac Paredes, out. So again, this is a lineup filled with a lot of guys that aren't usually taking plate appearances and guys that just aren't usually in the lineup. And they're going to face Gore, who's been one of the best pitchers in baseball. He's under the 2.5 earned runs line in 16 of his last 21 starts. And if you look at the last 10 lefties to face the Astros, only 2 of them have given up 3 earned runs. That was Joey Cantillo and Kyle Freeland. The last 3 to face them, really since all the injuries have kind of taken in, 16 and 2/3, 2 earned runs allowed. So they've really been getting cooked by lefties. And as I said, they're dealing with a lot of injuries out there. The guys in their lineup that are going to have to beat us, the righties, we're talking about Christian Walker, who's had a bad year. Cam Smith, who was red hot for a little bit, but has kind of cooled off. Whitcomb, Zach Short, Yainer Diaz, all guys that just aren't seeing the ball super, super well. The lefties, I have no idea who they're going to throw in there. Sure, Altuve will be another one of those righties in there as well, but we know Gore has the swing and miss capability, 88th percentile on both whiff and K percentage. And again, if he gives up some base runners, I think he can get out of those jams with the strikeouts. We've seen him do it time and time again. I also want to note this he is on the trade block. Now, I don't think he gets traded, but the trade deadline is tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken. And I don't know if we need to run Gore into the ground if we have potentially thinking about trading this guy. So again, I really like the under 2.5 earned runs. If he only went once or twice through the first lineup and then they took him out, wouldn't shock me at all. In fact, if you want the best value for Mackenzie Gore, you'll love if he goes out there, goes the first 2 times through the lineup, shutout innings. And they're like, let's not bring him out a third time. Let's show that he's been really good because we don't need him to get any earned runs on his record, and he blemishes there. So I really like his under and earned runs today. I know it's a little juicy at minus 145, but I'll play 1.5 units on this, my favorite play of the day. I got 2 more picks, but I'm going to throw it over to Logan. And boy, do I love his pick today. It is going to probably cash in the first 3 innings because that's just how it be. Logan, you know what it is. Take it away.
Yeah, I really hope it can cash in the first 3 innings. But guys, going back to the scene of crime, no surprise here. I'm taking the Mariners and Athletics over 9.5, minus 115 odds on DraftKings. Now we've talked about it all season long. I cannot stand this sport when you're 1 day early. When you're 1 day early and you go away from the loss you just suffered, that's how you get into a losing streak. I'd argue that's how we got into the hole that we got in. Rather than running back our losses, we just moved on from them. And especially when we felt like they could have cashed. And again, no excuses for like losing plays, but when you get 7 runs in the first 5, I'm looking for 4 more runs in the bullpen. Normally you get those, especially at Suter Park. I just could, they gave me nothing yesterday, late games. So rather than just look at that game and say, moving on, I say, well, they put up a ton of runs early, just nothing late. Imagine they get runs late today. That should easily cash this over. I do think we do get some runs off these two starters. They're obviously on paper worse than the ones we saw yesterday, but still, I think they are very exploitable. Let's talk about Jeffrey Springs, who starts for the A's. 4.13 ERA and a 1.2 whip for Jeffrey Springs. He faced the Mariners twice. March 28th, went 6 innings pitched, 0 earned runs. May 6th, 5 innings pitched, 2 earned runs. So now he's going to see him a third time. And again, I do like this pitcher familiarity. I argue my best time betting baseball was back when the teams used to play divisional games all the time, and they didn't play as much, outside of the division as they do now. But seeing a pitcher in the division for a third time, again, that the hitters have the familiarity against him. They didn't get the Severino yesterday, which was disappointing. But again, post All-Star break, Jeffrey Springs has a 6.3 ERA in 2 games. Yes, it's just 2 games, but is he coming out of the All-Star break absolutely dealing? Not really. I think the Mariners can get to him. With runners in scoring position, Jeffrey Springs eyeing a 245 batting average, which, I mean, it's not catastrophic, but yesterday the Mariners went 1 for 8 with runners in scoring position, 9 left on base. I mean, that's the story of our season, right? Can you get the timely hits? Answer no. But the Mariners, the chances were there for them yesterday. They just did not convert on them. I think against Jeffrey Springs, they can really do it. Seattle's hitting 268 in their last 5 games versus lefties. Now, and I haven't seen a ton of lefty starters in that span, but they still have been getting to left-handed pitching, which I want to see. I think they get to Jeffrey Springs today. I think they tag him for at least 3 earned runs, get us a good bit way to this over. And we're going to need some runs against Brian Wu, who starts for the Mariners, 2.91 ERA and a 0.95 whip for Brian Wu. Now, Brian Wu faced the A's twice. Again, March 30th, went 6 innings pitched, 1 earned run. That was in Seattle. But then he also faced them May 7th, 6 innings pitched, 5 earned runs, and that was in Sacramento at Suter Park. That's exactly where we find ourselves today. What I really do like about that start is that the A's got 8 hits off of him that second time facing him. So seeing him a third time, I'm really optimistic they can get to him once again. If you pile up the hits on Brian Wu, that means you're seeing his pitch arsenal pretty well. And I think this A's team, can definitely do that. The A's are hitting 266 in their last 5 games versus right-handed pitching. I liked what they did yesterday. When Logan Evans made a mistake, they made him pay for it, and that's what you got to do against bad pitchers like that. I'm not going to call him bad, but his StatCast metrics were bad. Obviously, Brian Wu, a lot better pitcher, StatCast metric-wise. But if you're getting great contact on him, like I know this A's team can get, I'm pretty optimistic they get some hits and runs up on him. Look, I'd settle for 3 runs on each of these starters and give us the late run opportunities in the bullpen. The A's are 8th in bullpen ERA in July. Mariners are 15th. Again, we saw 0 runs in the bullpen yesterday. That's abnormal. I'm willing to bet against that today. I'm willing to bet that we get some runs in the bullpen, even as you can have 2 top 5 bullpens that don't give up a single run one game, and then they give up like 5 or 6 the next game. It's a weird sport. This is just how baseball works, unfortunately. But I think we get a lot of runs late in this one, and I think we get to 10. Give me some runs in Sacramento today. Love that as my favorite pick of the day. But Austin, you got a few more. Where are you going?
Yeah, let's get 2 more picks on the card. I did forget to note Dinger Tuesday. We did our giveaway yesterday. I already put a comment back to the person who won, but this was the winner, 570-3. He said Kyle Schwarbaum. Yep, he sent one to the moon. So congrats to him, $25 giveaway. Again, go back to your comment from yesterday to figure out how to claim that. But let's dive into my 2 final picks of the day. Let's go 4-0. Let's have ourselves a day. This one's plus money. Let's talk about it. Red Sox and Twins, first 5 under, 4.5, which is currently plus 110. Bet365. I was shocked to see this at plus money. Total's at 8.5 in this game. Normally a 4.5 would be about minus 110 both ways, but at plus 110, sure, I'll happily take that. I love Brian Bayo and I love Zebby Matthews in their matchups today. Now, I believe the first 5's gone over in the first 2 games of this series because we've had Woods Richardson, and I don't even know the Twins guy they started yesterday. He was absolutely terrible. But today, I think Zebby Matthews will have a good start in him, and I think Brian Bayo will have a good start as well. If you talk about his last start, it was that Dodgers start. The man was giving up soft contact, but it was like the Dodgers couldn't have placed it better. I'll trust that he can go out there and do it against the Twins team, which is reeling because the Twins have lost. They haven't been great recently. 5 games under 500. Byron Buxton on the IL. Carlos Correa left yesterday with an illness. We'll see if he plays today in an early start. I think we see both these two pitchers go out there and pitch well. But what I'm going to really need it from, and I trust Brian Bale a little bit more, is Zebby Matthews. He has some starts out there that you're like, oh boy, what is he doing? But he's pitched well at home in his 2 home starts this year. Again, limited sample size 2. And then his most recent start, 0 earned run versus the Nationals. Now the Nationals are a team that like to stack their lefties in there, and he was able to carve them up. And this is a Red Sox team that does very similar things. What I love about Zebby, elite strikeout stuff, 30% K rate this year. That's going to be important because since the All-Star break, the Red Sox own the 4th highest K percentage to right-handed pitchers. This is also their final game before a day off. They travel back home to either probably this afternoon after this game. So could we see a lesser lineup? Yes. Could we see maybe just they're not as locked in as normal? Could also happen as well. A trade deadline approaching, this little young team. I mean, they have some veterans in there like Alex Bregman, but again, young teams, guys on the trade block. We'll see. I like Zabby to go out there and shove. Then we get Brian Bayo, who's been great recently. As I said, a 3.32 ERA and a 1.28 whip. 4 straight righties to face the Twins have given up 2 or fewer earned runs, with 2 of those guys going in the 7th inning and pitching 7. And Bayo, great with runners in scoring position, 215 batting average, 194 with 2 outs. As we talked about with Bayo, he's going to get the ground balls, 84th percentile in ground ball percentage, 75th in hard hit percentage. This comes down to, can the Twins put the ball where the defense isn't? I don't trust them. I don't trust this lineup at all without Buxton, without potentially Correa. They're going to be throwing in their lefties like Lee, Larnick, Wallner. Those guys have been anything but consistent this year. I'll trust Brian Bayo to go out there and pitch well on the road where he has a slightly lower ERA. They're basically the same, though. I think Brian Bayo pitches well. Zebby Matthews holds it down. Love this at plus 110 for the first 5. I'd play it to about minus 115. I think it should be minus 115 both ways. Honestly, minus 110, minus 115. I really like this play. And then my final play of the day is another late night play to pair with Logan's play in case maybe you missed the early starts. We're going to the Rangers and taking them on the money line just to win outright. Not first 5, nothing like that. If the bullpen sells me here, I'm out on full game picks because, man, the bullpen's just – I don't know if we had the bullpen go our way like once this year, it feels like. Yesterday, Seth Lugo, he didn't pitch great. And, well, he pitched great until the 6th inning. Then he collapsed. But we still had a good chance to cash it in the bullpens, which – the Royals brought in their good bullpen arms. No, they couldn't do anything. So I swear if the Rangers do that to us, that would be catastrophic. But today, I really like Nathan Eovaldi against Jose Soriano. I think we have the starting pitching advantage. I think the hitting is probably about equal. I think we have the bullpen advantage, which I think is enough reason for me to back the Rangers here at minus 130. Look, let's talk about Eovaldi, who has been great this season. You won't find a guy with better stats than him. 1.5 ERA, a 0.88 whip. The Rangers have won 4 straight starts by him, and they haven't even been close. 6-0, 13-1, 5-1, and 8-3. The 13-1 was an identical matchup to today against the Angels in LA, and it was Soriano versus Eovaldi. So Eovaldi's pitched well against him, and I think he can do it again. I'm not asking him to go out there and throw 7, but he's capable of doing that. But I really do think he pitches well, and then we turn over to a good bullpen, which I'll touch on in a little bit. And Soriano, we've talked about him before. He's the guy ground ball machine, 100th percentile in ground ball percentage, but he has struggled at home. We're looking at him at home. He's a 5.37 ERA, 295 batting average with runners in scoring position. And the Rangers, since the All-Star break, 4th highest line drive rate against righties. Why is that important? Well, because Soriano's ground ball machine. So we can elevate the ball a little bit, get those ground balls into line drives. They might go into the gap down the line. I think we can do that. They've seen him already 2 times this year, got 3 and 5 earned runs off of him. They'll be the 3rd time seeing him. And since the All-Star break, as I said, when we turn it over to the bullpens, we have a much better bullpen for the Rangers, 6th in bullpen ERA, while the Angels rank 22nd. The Angels have won the first 2 games of the series. They've used their higher leverage arms. Those guys should not be available a 3rd straight day. So I think you'll see either Jose Soriano extended a little bit longer than they want to use him, or we will see the bad bullpen arms come in here. We can see the Rangers extend the lead. So again, I like the Rangers. I almost played them minus 1.5 for plus 130. I'd rather just trust them to win this game in case that's what it comes down to. But I do think that this one could be get out of hand early. I love their matchup against Soriano. I think Eovaldi holds things down. I love this one as a money line play. We haven't done a ton of money lines, but if this one can cash, maybe we'll go back to them. They just haven't been good to us this year. So to recap the card, 1.5 units on Mackenzie Gore, under 2.5 earned runs. Logan's picked the over in the Mariners-A's game, 1 unit play. We have Rangers money line out of order, sad, and the first 5 under. 4 picks, 4 winners. Let's get it done, and we'll see you guys back tomorrow with some more picks. If it's an 0-4 day, we'll do another giveaway. $25. But we're not going 0-4. We're going 4 now. See you tomorrow. Peace.